Okay. What is this? What is this? How you doing, my dear friends? How you doing, everyone? Lim Schmal here, coming to you from FEMA Region number 3. What better gift can a man who loves winter receive from his Elohim than to have snow on the first day of spring? Oh! Hallelujah, Fritzy! Thank you, Elohim. I know it drives the warm weather people crazy, but I'm a reverse hibernator. I love the winter. So what a wonderful gift from my Elohim. Sorry for all you folks out there that wanted, spring to come in like a lamb. I'd rather have it coming in like a lion any day. The lion of the tribe of Judah, that is. Ha! All right. It was the long-awaited solar eclipse early this morning. 4:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's right, Eastern Daylight Time. I watched it. I recorded it as it happened in Svalbard, Norway. Come on, people, let's all go to Svalbard, watch the moon eclipse the sun. Anybody get there? I didn't make it, but I did get to watch it. Like I said, I recorded it as it happened. It was beautiful. And it went completely dark, and then all of a sudden, smack, vap, the corona appears. And I do believe that it is very, very prophetic for our time. Many of the watch folk, you go on YouTube and you listen to people talking, many people are feeling darkness in their gut. It's not in the heart. How can we know the heart? It is deceitful. Our brains are fried, But our guts, that's where you feel it. That's where you kind of, well, it's the birth pains, Where do you get the birth pains? In the gut. So, people are talking about darkness, and I feel that the earth is getting ready to be plunged into darkness. I feel it. I know you feel it. The watchmen, the watch ladies, the watch children, and the watch dogs, you're feeling it. The darkness is coming. We realize now, I showed in my last video how the coronal holes are darkening the sun, fulfilling the prophecies of Yeshua himself and of Joel. I want to show you a couple of things quickly that relate to what else? Road to Paris 2015. And it has to do with CERN. A lot of chatter about CERN on the web these days. The watch folk are very aware of this monstrosity in Switzerland. But let me say again, as I speak, it is March the 20th, the vernal equinox, first day of spring, snowing in my neck of FEMA Region 3. Thank you, Elohim, one more time. Ooh. I don't know what the weather will be like by the time this video gets uploaded, but it is the vernal equinox here in my neck of FEMA Region 3, and it's snowing. Drive the summer folks crazy. I just want to say, everything is on schedule prophetically. The clock is ticking. In previous videos, I have showed you that countdown clock to the end of 2015. But you know what? I started to think, I got that wrong, you see. You can still take a look at, how much time it is to the end of 2015. But Mr. Fabius, the French foreign minister, who gave that grand announcement 500 days to avoid climate chaos. He did that on May the 14th of 2014. 500 days from that day is September the 26th of 2015. The day before Jorge the false prophet speaks in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, USA, going in to the final blood moon. Man, oh man. Don't tell me nothing ain't going on. Let's take a look at how many days it is right now to September 26th, the 500th day, the day that we have until climate chaos comes, unless we can do something to avoid it.
just around the corner, my friends. Just around the corner. And now,
I want to give you a little info on this thing that has to do with CERN and its connection to the UN and their climate change agenda. So, let's get on with it!
CERN to attempt Big Bang in March. Stephen Hawking issues warning. Now let's get down here a little bit, my friends, and read this little paragraph here. CERN is due to reopen the Large Hadron Collider in March of 2015 in order to recreate the Big Bang, despite warnings from top scientists such as Stephen Hawking and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't like him. I'd rather have Michio Kaku. Where you at, Michio? How come you ain't chiming in on this? But look here. Let's see this here. Hold on. Let me highlight this. Read that. Dr. Stephen Hawking recently warned that the reactivation in March of CERN's Large Hadron Collider could pose grave dangers to our planet. There you go, my friends. That's what Stevie Boy says. Now let's jump over here. All right, take a look at this one. Stephen Hawking says Higgs boson has potential to destroy entire universe. Now, Higgs boson, that is apparently this God particle that was discovered at CERN with this Large Hadron Collider that smashes atoms or trying to get it up to the speed of light or whatever they do, smack that. Here's the important little sentence I'd like for you to see. Look at this. Scientist Stephen Hawking has warned that the Higgs boson, the so-called God particle, could cause space and time to collapse. Now, that's very interesting, my friends. Now, these articles here, they were written way back in September of 2014. See there, September 8th, 2014. But the reason why this is all coming out now is because they are apparently cranking this machine back up, and it's supposed to be March the 23rd. Now, when I started recording this video, it was the first day of spring. It was March the 20th, the vernal equinox, the great eclipse day. And even more happened that day, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But as I speak, my friends, it is 1:06 a.m. on the 22nd of March. So, whatever it might be, it's happening. I gotta tell you, my friends, I don't have a clue about how this thing really works, this Large Hadron Collider. Not a clue. You're gonna have to, look into it yourself. I don't understand how this thing works. I'll leave a link. I don't know the science of it. All I know is that they shouldn't be doing it. They wouldn't be talking about it like this. The biggie, Stephen Hawking, Mr. Theory of Everything, says it's not a good idea to be doing what they're doing. This Higgs boson, this God particle. I don't know what the point is, what they're trying to do, recreate the Big Bang or whatever. All I know is that it's linked in with this UN climate change agenda. I'm going to get into that. Just hold on to your protons. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take a look at a couple of logos. First off, here is the CERN logo. Now I want you to take a look at the logo for the World Economic Forum. You see any similarities? Look real close. Well, then again, do you have to really look that close? I mean, check out the colors. How about the number that's sort of represented in these logos? Looks to me like the number 6. Check it out. All right, let's look over at this one first. There's 1626. Oh, 1626. Hey, Dr. Seuss. All right, 16 here, 26, 36. But then if you look over here at the CERN logo, and don't be afraid to diss CERN. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All right, looks like we got 16 here. Looks like we got another one here. Then we got one here. But it looks like we got a 4th 6. I don't know, is it just me or is that 4 6s? Now, some of you might even be asking about this. Is this a 5th 6? Right here. But I don't know. No, I don't think so. This right here, this part's too short to make that a 6. So it's either 3 6s in this CERN logo or 4. And if it is, where have we seen 4 6s before? That's right. When the moose went into the boss. Yeah, look at that. 4 6s, which also corresponds with the date of when the moose went into the boss. June 6/18. And what particular event just happens to happen on June 18th? For those of you familiar with my past couple of videos, you know that it's this. That's right, Live Earth, Road to Paris 2015. And for those of you who might be confused about that moose part, well, you got to go back and watch this video. It'll clear it up for you. And now, how does that tie in with the World Economic Forum? Well, look at these three wonderful personages standing in front of that World Economic Forum logo. Yeah, that's right. Can you stomach it? Well, that takes care of the World Economic Forum, my bunkies. But how does CERN tie into all this? Where does CERN fit into this global warming garbage? Where does CERN fit into the Road to Paris 2015, Live Earth, and all that? Or is CERN just a bunch of scientists trying to recreate the Big Bang? Well, I want you to take a look at the beginning of two videos. See if there's any similarities there. Now, they're not 100%, exact. But something was telling me deep down inside, the old gut, the birth pangs, the gut of the birth pangs, the birth pangs that I got, however you want to say it. I don't know. But they just seemed eerily reminiscent of each other. Do you see it? Something was just telling me they was connected. Now, for those of you who have watched my past couple of videos, you're very familiar with what this is. But what, pray tell, is this? The International Year of Light, 2015. Well, how about we find out? Ho ho! And here is the CERN homepage. And looky there, folks. 2015, the International Year of Light. Yeah, right. All right, my friends, let's jump down a little bit. Oh, look at that nice pretty picture. All right, let's see what they got down here. What are they writing here? Let's see. All right, here's something interesting. Let's read along. This year, which marks the centenary of the publication of Einstein's theory of general relativity, has been named the International Year of Light and Light-Based Technologies by the what? What does that say? By the UN General Assembly? Oh, my goodness gracious me. What do you know? Ha ha! There you go, my friends. There it is. Seals the deal. Let's go on, read a little more. CERN is taking this opportunity to communicate about the High Luminosity LHC, that's Large Hadron Collider project, and CERN's involvement in the Big Bird, Sesame Synchrotron Laboratory in Jordan. In Jordan? Check that out, folks. Jordan. Modern-day Jordan, of course, is otherwise known for those students of the scriptures as ancient Ammon, Edom, and Moab. Ah, man, it gets better and better. All right, now let's go down let's skip a paragraph and take a look at this one. Another important link with the International Year of Light is Sesame, whatever. Also, a European Commission-supported project through which CERN is overseeing the construction of the main ring for the Sesame, which apparently is the synchrotron light for experimental science and application in the Middle East laboratory. Sesame is the Middle East's first major international research center and is under construction in Amman, Jordan, thanks to the contributions from its 9 members and other institutions worldwide. Jordan. This is too much, folks. Oh, boy. Wouldn't it be wonderful if ISIS came in and got the Sesame? Open sesame. Oh, boy. I'm batting 1,000. All right, one more little paragraph here. Finally, this year's research night at CERN will be celebrated on the 25th of September, as if this coming September is not action-packed enough. Celebrated on the 25th of September with the special participation of Gao Zhangjing. I'm telling you, folks, this is something. when I saw this, UN General Assembly, there you go, side by side with CERN. Man, oh man. Well, there we are. There's our little diatribe on 2015, the International Year of Light, and CERN, determining the fact that they're in lock, stock, and barrel with this climate change agenda. Live Earth, Road to Paris 2015. And just when you thought it couldn't get any nuttier, take a look at this. Look at them logos there. There's the UNESCO logo, and look next to it. That's the official logo for the International Year of Light 2015 that was designed by the United Nations. Look at that. It looks like the sun there in the middle. But what else does that look like to you? Let's get a closer look. Man, oh man, that reminds me of something. What could it be? Well, I was noticing the little rays of light coming off that sun there. And let's count them. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them. What do you know? Where have I seen that before? There. That's where. The CERN LHC. The Large Hadron Collider. Now, if you can't see that this United Nations designed logo for this International Year of Light, if you cannot see that this is based on the image of that piece of garbage abomination from CERN, then you'd better put in your Popeyes. Folks, this is proof positive that the UN is even in on CERN, whose goal is to recreate the Big Bang. What the heck is going on, people? Here, this is what's going on. This plus this equals this, and that is that. This is it, folks. Wake up, if you have not yet already. No more hitting the snooze button. No. This entire agenda is about one thing and one thing only: to subvert the plan of Yahweh by doing whatever they must to bring about their new world order and destroy Israel, the land of Elohim. And you want some confirmation? I'll give you some confirmation. What's the thrust of this whole Live Earth Road to Paris deal, huh? This thing that kicks off the Paris climate change agenda on 6/18/2015. It's all about collecting voices and manifesting them all into one voice. Go back, watch their videos, listen to their rhetoric. One voice, one voice, one voice. Now let me ask you, what was the name of the organization founded for the sole purpose of unseating Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister of Israel? The name of that organization was One Voice /V15. Did you get that? One Voice /V15. And if you have any doubt that Elohim is not shouting at the top of his omnisciently figurative lungs, telling us to seek him while he may be found, because the Tower of Babel is being rebuilt right now in our day, if you have any doubt of that, then take a look at the first name of the founder of One Voice /V15. And you know what? We're not done yet. All right, my friends. As stated earlier, I began making this here little video on March the 20th. As I speak, it is now March the 23rd. I wonder if they've gone and fired up the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, yet. Time will tell, I suppose. But I gotta get back to the day I started this particular video, March the 20th. It was a big day. The sun, eclipsed in totality by a supermoon, not only on the vernal equinox, but also on Nisan 1, the beginning of the Jewish religious year. Well, you know what? That day, March 20th, that was something else as well. Are you ready for this, my bunkies? Maybe you know. But unlike the total eclipse, this totally got by me. You know what it was? It was this. That's right, friends. That's what it says. The International Day of Happiness. And you'll never guess where it came from. The United Nations. The United Nations International Day of Happiness. Are you out of your mind? All right, fellas. All right, thanks. Yeah, go downstairs. Shirley, make your shaving. But we ain't got no sauce. I wouldn't have it in the house. All right. The United Nations International Day of Happiness. And here's another one I bet you never guessed. The guest of honor. Aha! I'll bet you guessed correctly, though, didn't you? But let me tell you something, my friends. Believe it or not, Mr. Farrell wasn't the highlight of the evening. At least not from a prophetic perspective. Now, don't get me wrong. Mr. Farrell had plenty to say, but that might be the focus of a future video. I'm praying on that now. But as I say, he is not the one that I'll be focusing on at this particular moment in time. The purpose I'm focusing on is most likely someone you've never seen or even heard of. I never have. I've never seen him or heard of him. That is before I saw this. This is him. And his name is Aaron Sharinian. And he was one of the speakers at this United Nations International Day of Happiness, March 20th, 2015. People, what you are about to hear from the mouth of this UN lackey lapdog made every fiber of my being snap to attention. This is a monumental prophecy alert, my friends, and I'll bet it went over the heads of all those poor, unsuspecting lost souls in the audience that this wolf in sheep's clothing was talking to. I don't know if this has been reported yet by any of the other watch folk. I've been so busy putting this here thing together that you're watching now, so I don't know. Remember a little bit ago when I remarked how action-packed this coming September is going to be? Well, listen here to Mr. Sharinian.
This year, in this room, conversations will take place, conversations that have been taking place, where in September, new goals will be discussed. A new to-do list for our world. A new to-do list. The world is coming together to decide priorities, ways that we can come together to ensure that this place is a place of prosperity and peace and health. The world leaders that represent you, the people who sit in these chairs on your behalf, need your help. They need your help because when this new list of goals is formulated, established, and adopted, when this new list comes together, which will be the biggest attempt in history to fight poverty and create prosperity while protecting people for the planet, they're counting on you to do your job. Do you know what your job is? Your job is to raise your voice, to tell world leaders and your friends that you want issues like climate change, issues that bring us together today. You want these issues to be at the very top of the agenda.